Reports out of Knicks training camp is telling us something that all Knicks fans have been dying to hear. Julius Randle's mentality is growing. We also get into Evan Fournier trying to break back into the rotation of the New York Knicks. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest. Before we move on to today's video, I want to remind you guys to smash that subscribe button. The Knicks Digest page, we're coming out with all different types of videos. We're coming out with players' contracts. We're coming out with players' mentalities. We're coming out with players' off-season workouts. So just make sure to smash that subscribe button and follow the Knicks Digest channel. All right, guys, we're going to get right into today's video. So the first thing we're going to talk about Julius Randle having a mentality shift. So the last couple articles from different news outlets have been talking about Julius Randle mentality shift and how different players are noticing it going into training camp. And the first one I want to talk about is we're talking about Donte Divincenzo, the new signee from the New York Knicks, who just signed a 4-year, $100 million deal, I believe. So if we take a look into the article by Christian Winfield, Donte Divincenzo quotes, "I just love how he approaches every single day. It kind of honestly shocked me a little bit of how he came in. You don't know people before you get to their team. So once I got to the team, he really wowed me with the type of person he is, and I'm grateful to be able to share the court with him." So if we take a look at that quote by Donte Divincenzo, that's something that Knicks fans have been really trying to hear for a long time. One of my gripes of Julius Randle is his offensive game is so predicated on him getting his numbers and him getting his stats and if he doesn't get those numbers, it affects the rest of the team. And when it affects the rest of the team, you can visibly see Julius Randle's energy going down, and you don't see Julius Randle trying to hype his team, trying to affect the game in other aspects of the game. As if he's not scoring, he's either putting his head down, or there's other ways to affect the game. Again, you could do rebounding, you could do defense, you could try and take charges, or you can try and attack the hole in order to get others open. A la RJ Barrett, Donte Divincenzo. Donte Divincenzo last season with the Warriors were all over the place, man. They had that big controversy with Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Before the season even started, we all saw that leaked footage of Draymond punching Jordan Poole in practice, which is pretty crazy. And I remember Steph saying in the press conference after they lost the series to the Lakers, a reporter asked him about the season and how the punch really affected everything. And Steph just flat out said, "It's like, yeah, everything after that was kind of like, it was pretty much a scramble, and we had to just make do with what we had." And having said all of that, Donte Divincenzo, I feel like, really stepped up, and he looked to pick up the pieces, especially during the Lakers series. During the Lakers series, my eyes were really glued to Donte Divincenzo. I just liked his activity. I liked how active he was, and he's also athletic too. When he was with the Milwaukee Bucks, I wasn't a huge fan of Donte because he was just another kind of basic NBA guard. But last season with the Warriors, it kind of really opened up my eyes to Donte Divincenzo and sees how he affects the game in a lot of different aspects. Donte Divincenzo is someone who's very active, and he attacks the glass, and he's always attacking the glass for rebounds as well. But Donte DiVincenzo isn't the only one that's actually coming out telling us how Julius Randle's mentality is changing. If we take a look here in the article, we got Jalen Brunson himself. Jalen Brunson is saying that Randle's energy is more refined in camp with teammates than it is when he's attempting to barrel through defenders. It's a different type of intensity. He's concentrating. He's focused on giving off the right energy to everybody. It's still intense. It's just different. It's channeled, and we're just trying to do the little things to get better every single day, so we're off and running in the regular season. Now, in my opinion, Jalen Brunson, who is the best player on the Knicks and who's also the leader of the team, if he's coming out saying that he visibly notices a difference in Julius Randle and how he's carrying himself and how he's being a leader to the team, especially to the youngins on the Knicks roster, things could be on the up and up. We could be seeing Julius Randle a whole different mentality for the whole season. We could see a whole different type of player. Julius Randle has a legit resume. He has 2 All-Star nods. He has 2 All-NBA nods, 2 within the last 3 seasons. He averaged 25 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists last season. He was one of only 3 players last season to have those averages. The other 2 was the league MVP, Joel Embiid, and was also the Greek Freak. So when you're in company with those 2 players, it says a lot about you. But again, Knicks fans, we tend to get overly excited. We tend to get overly hyped. Me, I like to think of myself as a realist. I want to see these. I want to see these changes with regarding Julius Randle's mentality. I want to see it play out throughout the season, and hopefully it leaks into the playoffs, and we see a whole different Julius Randle. Now, off of Julius Randle, we're going to be talking about someone who's been shunned from the New York Knicks roster. We're going to be talking about Evan Fournier. Evan Fournier having a resurgence. It's pretty interesting. An article that came out by Stefan Bondi, just talking about Evan Fournier and what he's really trying to break back into the rotation because basically Tibbs doesn't like him and Tibbs put him in the doghouse, and it's pretty evident. Evan Fournier, he's one of those players that he has this very specific skill, and his skill is shooting. But the thing is, Evan Fournier's defense is kind of a la James Harden, even though James Harden has gotten better. And Coach Tibbs, he's a really, really old school defensive minded coach. I mean, he was the lead defensive coach on the Boston Celtics 2018 when they won the championship. Tibbs was the architect of that defense, I should say. So Tibbs is a defensive minded coach, and when your players aren't really playing defense, Tibbs is gonna yank you out. Take a look at Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin didn't get along with Coach Tibbs as much, and now look at him. He got traded and he's with Indiana. He's probably going to have a breakout season. But Evan Fournier in the doghouse, he's really trying to break through. But in the article, it says here, Evan Fournier says, I might be dreaming of stuff, but to me, I can help the team. Like, I'm a good player. I can effing play. I bring stuff that this team doesn't have to. So I have hope to play, to be honest. I have hope to play. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Maybe Tibbs has already made up his mind and stuff. But my goal is to put him in a position where he has to think about playing me. Now, that's all fine and dandy. Players like to say things in the off season in order to get their names across. They have certain reporters trying to report things for them to get across to the team. But I don't know, man. Evan Fournier, for me personally, he was always like, I liked him. He was a decent NBA player. But if you're not willing to do what specifically what the head coach wants you to do, which is really focus on the defensive end, and if you're really just trying to look for your offensive points, then you're not going to get playing time. And Evan Fournier, when's the last time you said, like, wow, Evan Fournier really tried to step up his defensive skills this offseason? I never heard of that. So Evan Fournier, we love you. You're a Knick right now. We're going to ride or die for you. But if you get on the court and we don't see you playing defense and then you get put back in the doghouse, there's nothing really we can say, man. You got to try and step up your defensive game. Coach Tibbs will yank you. He will put you in the doghouse, and you'll stay there forever like you did last season. So Evan Fournier, we wish you luck, man. You're a Knick. We're gonna love you until you're not a Knick anymore. But hopefully you step up your defensive game this season, and hopefully we see you on the court more because you have a specific skill that got you into the league, and it helped keep you in the league, shooting. And we do need more of that. When Julius Randle is attacking the rim, Jalen Brunson's attacking the ring, R.J. Barrett, Donte Divincenzo now, Josh Hart as well. Attack the rim. It opens up the floor and the attack and kick out. And the person that we should be highlighting, because Evan Fournier is one of the better three-point shooters on the team, like I just said, it's Evan Fournier. But if you're not playing defense, Coach Tibbs is not going to put you on the floor. Play defense. Grow your all-around game, defensive, offensive, and trying to get your teammates involved, and Coach Tibbs will give you a shot. So, all right, guys, that was my rant again for Julius Randle and Evan Fournier. But until next time, we'll check you guys out on the next video, the Knicks Digest. Peace.